stop hating on Gipp. Stop hating on Big Gipp because he's giving you his perspective. He's just keeping it 100. He's just giving you the real from his point of view. From his point of view. Stop hating. And stop hating on Melly Mel for doing the same thing too. Everybody's not in line with everybody else. People have different perspectives on hip hop and MCs and who they think was compared to what the charts say, as opposed to what in their corner of the world, in their world think. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of rappers I like. And they're not on the maybe the so-called upper echelon of MCs or rappers. They're entertaining for me. I like them. You know what I mean? I like them. I like Busy Bone. I like Flesh and Bone. Busy Bone has a hell of an album out right now. His newest one, I'm Busy. Terrific album. Doesn't even get mentioned. You know, so Gipp giving you his perspective. You know, he's there. He's in the industry. You know, amongst his peoples down south. You know what I mean? There was a lot of hating going on for most of these East Coast cats. You know, particularly in New York cats. There was shading. They were shading the South a little bit. You know, they wasn't really trying. You know what I mean? Because their ear was different. They didn't pick up on a lot of them. Not all. Just some. Not all. It's hip hop though. It's just hip hop, man. It's not that serious where you gotta throw people under the bus. Shout out to Grandmaster Kaz for keeping it straight hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Grandmaster Kaz, as you know, one of the pioneers of hip hop in the 80s, the early 80s. Like 70s when this whole thing kicked off. And you know, he wrote for the Sugar Hill Gang. You know, Sugar Hill Gang has the classic Rapper Delight. You know what I'm saying? So he wrote for them brothers. So those were his lyrics that was being performed on that record. Shout out to Melly Mel for keeping it 100. I listen to people like this because I like to hear from them. I like to hear what they're talking about, what they think about today's MCs, the way the hip hop is currently. And I like it. And you know, people might frown and say, oh, they're bitter. Oh, what was their last hit? They might have 2 songs. You know, it's freedom of speech. That's how I look at that. But there's no denying the impact. I mean, you listen to the song The Message, still one of my favorite all-time hip-hop anthems, period. But let's not throw shade on them because they have an opinion. Oh, why is he hating on Jay-Z? I don't see where he's hating on Jay-Z. He's just giving you his perspective of what he thinks. It's his thoughts. He's not hating on Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z to me has always been the Triple H, the rap version, well, the hip-hop version of Triple H, the wrestler. And if you follow Triple H in his career in WWE, you can probably get the comp, so to speak, the correlation. And some say Triple H, to get to his position, always depended on the help of others who was hot. You know what I'm saying? He made alliances with people that were on the come up, who were hot. A lot of people say that about Jay. I think it's fair assessment. But Jay was going to make it anyway. Jay was determined. He's a Brooklynite. He's determined. He has a hustler spirit. Hustler's gonna make it regardless. You know what I mean? Jay had doors shut on him, closed on him. Rockefeller Records, Dame and Biggs, that whole crew. You know, it wasn't easy for them breaking into the game. They had to kind of like pave their own way. You know what I mean? Go about it the way that they go about it. And look what happened. They built a monster and an empire. Rockefeller Records was a monster. That wave, it still has remnants in music now because of Jay-Z. So no one's hating on Jay-Z, man. No one's hating on him. Like I said, you know, he's the number one rapper according to Billboards. According to Billboards, he's the number one rapper. That's their list. I don't know the criteria. I just read some of the things as they list the accolades and the missteps and blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. But no one's hating on Jay-Z, man. Stop. You Vengers, you know, everybody's not going to ride with just because you like a person. Oh, you should, you know, it's Jay-Z or else. Come on, man. Come on. Jay is nice. Always has been. But Jay switched up his flows a lot. A lot of people flows I hear in Jay's raps. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a fact. And that's something that Jay, it's a gift and a curse. No pun intended. I like Big Pun. Big Pun is one of my favorite rappers. Big Pun is one of my favorite rappers. Rakim, one of my favorite rappers. Ice Cube. KRS-One. At one point, well, still up there. KRS-One to me was everything hip hop. All the elements, all rolled up to one. The Blast Master. Dropping gems, giving you knowledge. You know, I learned something from his raps. Not afraid. Took courage to say a lot of things he said. Same thing with Chuck D. Public Enemy at one point was my favorite group of all time. Chuck D. It takes a nation of millions to hold us back. That's one of my all-time coveted albums. It's like a holy grail. Rest in peace to the late, great Biggie Smalls. Biggie was cold on that mic. Vicious. His pen game was extraordinary. There'll never be another one like him. Never. Or maybe his son. You know, maybe it's CJ. You know what I'm saying? If he decides to, you know, whatever. But Biggie. I like Biggie, man. Biggie was funny. Biggie was scary on the microphone. I mean, Biggie was no joke what he would go do to you. And just bleed just like us. It's hip hop, man. It's hip hop. Relax, people. Everybody has their favorites. I love the South. I love Outkast, Big Boy, Andre. People sleep on Big Boy. Big Boy represented Outkast to the fullest. To the fullest. Okay? Never forget. 3 Stacks. Amazing talent. Amazing. Just never had a single album. He never had a solo album. So doesn't take away from him. Some people might use that as a con against him. But he's laid some legendary 16s out there. You know what I mean? So Andre 3000 is that dude. Common. I used to love her. Common. I Used to Love Her. Another anthem of an album. I mean, not an album, but a single, a song. Talking about hip hop. And where it went, where it's going, where it went, where it's going, where it was, where it's there. Common. Nas, Escobar, God's Son, the Chosen One, the Golden Child, Nasty Nas, Esco, out of QB in Queens. Enough said. The late great Tupac Shakur, who's my favorite rapper. We miss you. Who else? Rock Marciano. Long Island. Rock Marciano. I'm gonna tell you, man, people might get mad or people might have different opinions, but I'll put those Long Island rappers up against anybody in hip hop, and they'll hold their own. To me, they had a bigger influential impact to me. Chuck D. Now Busta Rhymes, I don't know what he claimed. Is he claiming Brooklyn? You know, they claim so many. I mean, Method Man, MF Doom, just to name a few. Keith Murray, Prodigy. I know he claimed QB from Hempstead. And a host of others. Chuck D. I'm just saying. It's hip hop. Coming up on, well, we're at 50-year mark of hip hop. What are some of your favorite memories of hip hop? What is hip hop? How's hip hop impact you in your daily lives? Because hip hop is a phenomenon right now. It's a phenomenon. Everybody's eating off of hip hop. I remember they didn't even want to acknowledge it. Oh, it's a fad. Oh, you're going to see some DJ play records and somebody's rapping over it. I'd rather be in a club. Okay. No bands. I'm from DC. It's go-go bands. You know what I'm saying? We have our own culture. But, you know what I mean? They said, no live music? You want to hear the DJ? That's how they were thinking. But, I don't know. Once you heard it, man, you just gravitated to it. And it got a hold of you. And it just never let go. I love it. Yeah, gangster rap. Eazy-E. Shout out to Eazy-E. Pioneer. Businessman. His come up was amazing. Unfortunately, he passed away due to, the affliction with the HIV and AIDS. So they say. But Eazy did his thing. Wasn't the greatest rapper. Simple lyrics. He didn't write. But Eazy just, you just roll with it. He had a flow. He had a vibe. You know what I mean? And he was authentic. He was a gangster. But he was putting people on. He put Bone on. He had his crew, NWA. He was the front man in that movement. Don't forget, he was the first one to put out an album. Yes, he had people writing for him. Some great writers. Ice Cube, Ren, and a couple other people. But man, Eazy was my dude, man. I miss that guy too. He doesn't get his due. Eazy-E. Who else? Luke Skywalker. If it wasn't for Luke Skywalker, censorship would be at an all-time high You know what I mean? Would artists be able to adjust? You know, that's why Will Smith is so influential. Will Smith never had to, cuss on a record or a track. We know he can't cuss by looking at Bad Boys, the movie, but Will Smith didn't have to do it. Same thing with Rakim. Skills. Didn't have to do it. Didn't have to rely on it. Could get his point across. And many others. Shout out to Slick Rick. Children's Story. One of the greatest albums ever. One of the greatest albums ever. Ever. Shout out to A Tribe Called Quest. The Low End Theory. 5 mic album. Run DMC. Their first album. 5 mics. Liquid Swords by the Jizza. 5 mics. 93 to Infinity. 5 mics. Shout out to the whole Hieroglyphics crew. Casual, Dale, the Funky Homo Sapien. Shout out to the Alcoholics. Shout out to Rappin' Forte from the Bay Area. These are just some of the people that I like to shout out. People don't mention them, but their music is impeccable. Shout out to Spice One. Shout out to Drew Down. Mac Mall. Shout out to Too Short. The Pimp. Shout out to Shock G. Rest in peace, brother. That Sex Packets album, the Sex Packets. Anyway, man, I'm just chilling, man. Just hanging out, man. Peace and blessings. Peace and love.